Good evening, viewers. Global Orange is my name. I am Senior Consultant, Xerox Group International. I'm here today to bring you intel on property titles in the Netherlands. Netherlands is a member of the EU, and also going to give you how we are going to purchase land or property in Netherlands as a non-EU member or as non-resident person in Netherlands. But before I do it, please like our page. Like our video, and also subscribe to our channel so that we can get our subsequent videos without any stress. Now to the point. In Netherlands, we have a system that is governing or that is running the land transaction and property transaction, and also have a registry. The system that have been created for land and property transaction is called cadastral system. This cadastral system deals with matters that concern land, building, ship, yacht, and airplane. So only land that it deals with. Its aim is to ensure legal clarity and transparency by recording ownership boundaries of property in question, ownership, and other associated rights to the property. This is crucial for land transaction in Netherlands, and also it creates a public record accessible to the stakeholders. Very, very important. But the people, the body that's responsible for recording land and using this cadastral system is also called cadastral. This time around is Kadstral. I think maybe it's a Netherlands word. So that's the people the body that is using this cadastral system to create this public record and authenticate transactions. While these two I mentioned, the system and the operators, the real people that are responsible for drafting the the deed titles is the lawyers, the notaries. The lawyers are backed by civil law in order to, there is their job to draft everything about the land, the ownership, who owns the land, who is it being transferred to, and the rights on that property, or anything, the encumbrances on that property. They are the one that draft everything. Unlike other countries where the registering body is the one issuing the title, it is the lawyers that draft it. So it's a heavy role for lawyers. For those who are interested in buying land in Netherlands, is the lawyers. Very, very important. Now, once the lawyers do their job, but for it to be authenticated, even though they are backed by public law, they have to still take it back to the cadastral for registration to create public record. There are two major land titles in Netherlands. That is the freehold and leasehold. The leasehold, also called erfrecht. The freehold gives complete, absolute right to the owner of the property. He owns both the land and any property in it at any point in time and for an indefinite time. On the leasehold, of course, like here, where it could be as long as 99 years, but of course it has a definite time. It gives the person the right to enjoy the property of another, while it lasts, but it has a definite time. There are other two more titles. The other two more titles is apartments reached. This apartments reached is like in a building or there's several blocks. There are facilities there that is for everybody's use. Despite it's not owned by one person. You can understand it clearly and more when you talk of, say, in an estate, a continuous estate where you own your duplex, I own mine, and then there's a gym, there's a garden, there's a amusement park. These materials, these properties I mentioned are owned in common. What backs it up is apartments rich. The other type, more third and fourth type of ownership, title is upstart rich. This upstart rich is where another has a property in a land that does not belong to him. The right is created out of agreement. So he owns the property, but he's not the owner of the land, just like in Japan. In Japan, you can buy a 50-story building. That 50-story building does not confer on you the right to own that land. You don't own the land anyway. The owner of that land can still use the land to take loan from the bank, but it's only limited up to the point, up to the value of the land itself. Just like you use your 50-story as collateral security, but it's only limited to the value of that 50-story, not excluding the value of the land. Do you understand? So that's how these are the four major titles they have. Four titles they have in Netherlands. Having said this as you can see clearly how land operations happen in Netherlands. Now, how do you buy the property? Let's go there. For you to buy property there, if you are non-resident or you're a foreigner, you are not bound by any Netherlands law known to anyone not to buy property. You can, and you don't need government approval or government authentication in order to buy land. However, note this: if you are going to use Netherlands mortgage bank or mortgage broker, in that case, even for you EU citizens, they need to have lived in Netherlands for at least 6 months and must possess citizens service number. It's the government that issues it. They call it BSN. You must have it, and also must prove, I'm talking of EU citizens now, must also have a proof that they have a permanent job. If you are not if you are a non-EU citizen, in that case you need in addition to this three, you need proof that your permit can be extended. You need it. So there are 4 conditions for that's if you need their mortgage. But if you don't need their mortgage, fine and good. You have your money, so whatever happens, you pay with your money. You can even pay from your own country. Now, hunting for the land, processing the purchase itself. It starts with first searching out the property. That's where estate companies or estate agencies are required, because we do not have much information. You may not even be in Netherlands. So the estate company are the one that knows the properties that are available. So you need them to search for the property. But if you know your way in Netherlands, you could search for the property by yourself. But you wouldn't want to waste so much money to go to Netherlands only for just to search property. So you better give it to those that are qualified to do it. So they search for the property, and once they find it, they call you. You now meet the owner and reach an agreement. Once you reach the agreement, then the lawyer drafts initial agreement. Once that initial agreement is drawn, it means that the transaction has started. If you in fact, whether you are going to use mortgage or not, you pay 10%. That's the standard practice there. 10% of the value of the property purchase price. Once that is paid, the lawyer, it's after that the lawyer drafts an agreement. Then you move to the next stage. If you have your money full, then you remit the entire money full. Once that is done, the lawyer now goes ahead and drafts the deed title. It's his responsibility by law. Once you draft the deed title, because you are paid full, you collect the keys to the property, then you head back to the cadastral registration and updating of public record. Once that is done, but if you are not, if you are an EU citizen, or I mean EU person or non-EU person, of course, and have made the conditions I've mentioned earlier, in that case, the mortgage institution comes in and pays the remaining 10%, and then the lawyer steps in again to draft the deed title and then take it back to the cadastral. So that's the where because that's the people that will authenticate the purchase. Now, once that is done, the deal is done. But be aware that if any of the party is not speaking Netherlands, in that case, you need an interpreter, and it's your responsibility to pay him. And also be aware that there are fees and charges. Of course, that charges include the legal and the estate agency, and they runs between 5 to 15% of the purchase price. So be aware of this. And once you have done all this, then the land is yours. Okay, but note that buying land in Netherlands does not give you automatic visa to Netherlands. If you want to live there, then you need their visa, and you can now head to Netherlands and live. I hope this has given you enough intel. Should you